So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter Coulter. I was going to say, thinking about Donovan, but Walter of Verbal Herb. And on the Demetra K Show, we like to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always do better. And so on Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, we discuss money, how to make it and how to keep it, and everything else in between. And so today we're going to start off with that of President Joe Biden forgiving some student loan debt. And so we're going to get into that. We're going to ask Walter's opinion of that. We're also going to talk about some layoffs that are continuing to go on throughout the country and what we can do to brace for that. I don't know. Will it be you next? Will it be me? We'll see. I don't know. So again, Walter Coulter is a financial guru, has been in the business for almost 30 years. He has advised people from Kanye West to all kind of athletes and different celebrities and music artists, and me, I count too, right? And a whole host of other people. And so he does have the knowledge and expertise to give us, some game-changing advice in order to make our lives better financially. We should also say that, please, take this advice on your own free will, if you will. We're not forcing you to do that. Just feel like we need to say that. So anyway, before I get started, who else is on here? Moni, how you doing? And Mr. So I'll say, how about Mr. Production? How you doing? How are you? He says, let's not be fooled. To hell with them student loans. And Moni says, Detroit love, Demetra, and it's Walter, actually. And Mr. Productions, you say it's only disrespectful to Black folks' relations. Hello, Only Pamela's Way. How are you doing? And Brother Samuel, how are you? So, Walter, what say you before we get started?
I'm with who said that? I'm with Mr. Lift Productions. The hell with those student loans. I'm 52. I didn't get to take out no loans. I don't do nothing for me, but I get it. That's shit. I'm actually kind of irritated. I'm waiting for my check. The business owner loan. All the loans money we borrowed to start a business.
Is that right? Money at? All right. So actually, hold on one second. I lost all of my stuff when I went out of here and did not realize I did not have all of my videos and stuff. So give me 1 second, y'all. Not that, but I do need that. But not.
You got a video of Joe Biden?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, how did you know?
So is it official? I mean, or is this something like?
I'm gonna play it for you.
Man.
Okay. Let's see. So share. Give me a second. I apologize for this. I got kicked out of here and then I forgot to put my stuff back up. So I'm going to put Joe Biden here on the screen.
No.
So as y'all can see there, that is the president. Today, he did make an announcement that he was going to forgive some student loan debt. Give me one other second, please, so I can just put the rest of my stuff up here without having to stop. Where did my stuff go? Let's see here.
You better hurry up before you get that video. Joe Biden will be dead.
I can't find my thing. Hold on a second. It's here somewhere. So anyway, I'll find it in just a second. But let's go ahead and get started with this. It's blowing my mind. All right. So anyway, today, President Joe Biden announced that, he was going to be getting rid of, some student loans. So I will let him tell you himself. Here we go.
Student loan payment pause is going to end. It's going to end December 30th. I'm extending to December 31st, 2022, and it's going to end at that time. It's time for the payments to resume. Second, my campaign for president, I made a commitment. That would provide student debt relief. And I'm honoring that commitment today. Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allow them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced to $20,000. Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most. Working and middle-class people hit especially hard during the pandemic, making under $125,000 a year. You make more than that, you don't qualify.
All right. So, as y'all heard him say there, he is forgiving $10,000 for people who do not have the Pell Grant. And for people with the Pell Grant, he is going to forgive up to $20,000. And so some people might be asking, well, what's the difference between the grant? So a Pell Grant is basically a federal grant for people who are financially needy, if you will. And so it's for people who have an undergraduate degree and some graduates as well. And so again, that's for people who are considered financially needy. And then of course, the non-Pell Grants are people who are not. And so typically, that means us, right? And so about 48 million Americans have student loan debt to the tune of about $1.7 trillion, with women carrying most of the debt at about $930 billion. Black families, did I have it right? Yeah, Black families have about 30% in student loan debt to that of 20% white families. And so this is supposed to be, I guess, some sort of a win. I guess it's supposed to be a win for everybody who qualifies for this, but it's specifically supposed to be a win for Black people. But there's been a lot of people saying, in a year or so, that $10,000, let's say you get forgiven $10,000, it will come back due to the interest. So I guess on average, people have about $30,000 to $40,000 in student loan debt. And of course, there are some who have way more than that. But again, on an individual basis, if you are making $125,000 or less, you qualify. If you are a family making $250,000 or less, you also qualify. So there's a lot of people, as I said, like Walter just said, and somebody else said, it's not fair. And what about me? And, things like that. And so, Walter, what do you say about this student loan forgiveness that has gone forward today?
I mean, it's actually good. It's gonna help a lot of people. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it. At least somebody's getting something. The crazy part is, with student loans, is these people borrowed this money and they did it on their own accord. This wasn't one of those like slavery taxes or something where you were forced to take the money. This is something that people did that they did voluntarily. So the fact that they're getting relief is actually good for them. I'm just waiting for the business owners to get some relief. And I know we got pandemic relief and all that, but I'm talking about like just regular relief, like the student loan relief, which has nothing to do with the student loan debt. These are just people that borrowed money and are now having trouble paying them, right? Because you take out student loans, and I almost did that, and you know what you're getting into. Maybe not everything, but you're borrowing money. I think the problem is that most student loans is most people they went to school and they didn't use what they borrowed the money for, and so now it's painful. Versus if you go to school to be a dentist and you take out loans to be a dentist and you're making 200 grand being a dentist, the student loans don't seem as bad because you're making money in your field. So I'm kind of impartial. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the business owners or the people that have taken risks to get their money. So that's what I got to say at the moment. I'm going to keep my poignant comments to myself for a few more minutes.
Got it. So this is actually what I was looking for. I was looking for another file. And forgive me, y'all, I am exhausted. I get up super early. So anyway, that's kind of my fault, right? All right. So I just wanted y'all to see what's going on here. So it says what to know about Biden student loan forgiveness. Forgives up to $10,000 in student loan debt for non-Pell Grant. Again, Pell Grant is for people who are financially needy. Forgives up to $20,000 for Pell Grant, and then applies to those making under $125,000. Final student loan repayment pause extended through so January 1st. So actually on December 31st, the pause that is going on now, basically saying that people do not have to pay, that is going to end. He basically said, y'all not getting no more. Don't ask. Y'all gonna need to start repaying these loans. And then of course at the bottom it says undergraduate loan repayment can be capped at 5% of income. Not really too sure what that means exactly, but some of the opposition comes from people like that of Mitch McConnell, And he says, President Biden's student loan socialism is a slap in the face to every family who sacrificed to save for college, every graduate who paid their debt, and every American who chose a certain career path or volunteered to serve in our armed forces in order to avoid taking on debt. This policy is astonishingly unfair. And that comes from that of Mitch McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell. And so I want to get you guys' comments before we get into it with Walter. So who else came on here? Love JJ, how you doing? He says hilarious. All right, so let me actually go back to the top here. And QJC says $10,000 student loan forgiveness. The average American has between $35,000 and $40,000 on student loans. That is very true. And Mr. Kevin, how you doing? He said, God knows it feels great to be recovering from my illness, and I am glad that you are. He says, I missed you guys very much. We missed you too. Peace and discuss whether, he says, bulks, what is this here? BOXABL is the next best ground floor investment for Africans in America. And is there money in professional fundraising? So I will come back to that because I don't know what that is. And so, Walter, do you know what that is?
Of course I know what Boxable is. It's actually the company that Elon Musk tweeted about. So Boxable is a home for $50,000 that folds into a box and you can move it and then it unfolds into a house. It's for 50 grand. We considered putting some in our desert property. They're actually, I don't know about their investment model. I don't know if they're taking in money, and it has nothing to do with African Americans, Puerto Ricans, and Haitians. It's just anybody can invest in it. So yeah, I think if they let you in the door, but I don't know if they're taking investments or not. But it would be good to get you one for $50,000. You can have a house that folds up. All you need is the grid to hook it up to. It's actually a great idea. Matter of fact, Elon Musk lived in one of these for a little bit.
Got you. Okay, so I learned something new. I didn't know what that was. Thank you, Kevin. And Ricky Jones, how you doing? Says complete nothing burger still not voting in the midterm elections. I knew somebody was going to pick up on that. Monty says, I think you should have announced this is going to cover those who enter school September through the end of the year for their loans, even if it's a vocational school, trade or not. I hope that it does. So yeah, if you took out the loan, I guess for I don't think it necessarily has to go to a university per se. It can go for trade schools, if I'm not mistaken. And Brother Samuel, you say I borrowed only $12,000 when I became a teacher, and they had teacher loan forgiveness in 5 years. Today, it has grown over $65,000 without borrowing anymore. And yes, a lot of people are saying that most of it is interest. I actually saw somebody that said something similar to yours, that I think they borrowed like $30,000, and then I guess basically they'll never pay it off because now it's doubled. So yeah, a lot of that is interest. Were you gonna say something?
No, I'm listening. I was just thinking about the student loans and how aggressive they are, like any money that you borrow. I mean, I have, as a financial planner, when I was at American Express, I met clients in their 70s with student loan debt. Matter of fact, I have a client right now. She's 65. She has $40,000 in student loan debts from decades ago.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I'm actually gonna hold my commentary a little bit. You know, I'm gonna just get into some of these other comments. And Walter, please feel free to jump in. And Kevin say, is this related, forgiveness related to the principal? That I'm not sure of. But I would imagine that it is. I couldn't imagine them getting rid of the interest because, you know, the interest is tied to a lot of, you know, the corporations, which is why they don't want to. The banks are against, I would imagine they're against forgiveness, because if Joe Biden was to forgive the $1.7 trillion in debt, then that goes the profit for the banks as far as the interest that they are collecting or building up, rather. And
yeah, he ain't trying to have no naked photos come out. So he ain't gonna mess with the banks.
Exactly. Sonia, how you doing? Long time no see. You said if this is true, that would be amazing. Yes, and you know, depending on how much you owe, if you owe $10,000, then yeah, you in the clear, right? And JB how you doing? He says thumbs down. And Brother Samuel says they never paid it off, just kept adding to it. Yes, indeed. And Kiana, how are you? Says, stand on your square, fam. This isn't for us. This is for everyone. Hashtag reparations. Yes, indeed. Sunlight, how are you? And Kiana said, this is a nothing burger. And Mike Lewis, how you doing? Says, most people owe way more than $10,000, laughing my ass off, but Ukraine got almost trillions. You said it, but I don't know if they got trillions, but they definitely got billions, right? And so only Pamela's Way says Mitch McConnell is still in the Senate. He's been very quiet, must be in the background plotting. Exactly. Maurice, how are you? Says $10,000 is something, but nothing in the long run. Yeah, because as you just saw, Brother Samuel, all the interest that he's amassed, and a lot of people are saying in a year that will be back. So it's really it's symbolism for everybody at this point, just to say he did it, because y'all remember when he campaigned, he did talk about getting rid of some of the student loan debt, and he took forever. It's almost like the midnight hour that he came out with what he plans on doing. So that happened today. And Martin says, I like the fact that at least offering $20,000 for those use Pell Grants. The part that is a bit confusing, why not cover this if they start school even this year for vocational? That's not clear. Well, I guess they're forgiving past student loan debt. And so I wouldn't advise anybody to, if you can't afford it, to get into any more student loan debt, because as you can see, it's very costly, right? Kevin says, first, thanks for your service to our students and parents. Damn, I don't get how this interest, quote unquote, is not usury, and the government is, as a matter of law, prohibited from conducting a for-profit business. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not really quite for sure how it works, but I know that, like I said a minute ago, the banks wouldn't be too happy about getting rid of all the interest that they would lose if he was just a white, clean student loan debt. So I think that really has a lot to do with it. Sunlight says, I thought this was a rumor at first. No, it's for real. So they say, and only Pamela's Way says, how did Elon Musk say the boxable home was? Walter?
I mean, it's small as heck, but for somebody that's just looking to go home, relax, chill, watch TV, go to bed, and these things are built to where you can go outside. These small modular homes, container homes, are built for you to go outside, but have space when you want to come inside. It's not like a big old house to chill. And I've seen some of these. They're cool. I mean, they're small, but it's enough for you to go inside, relax, and get back outside and get to work. So, and I don't know if this is Elon's company. I just think Elon was staying in one, was part of the marketing. When I say marketing, how Elon is. He could tweet about anything, and all of a sudden they get a marketing campaign. So this is a very popular concept. It's been out for the modular home has been out for a long time. The pandemic just really exposed it, because then people were looking to move and get out, move to the desert and do different things. So it's a phenomenal program, you guys. For 50 grand, you can have a house and be done with it. I mean, some of y'all making a down payment of 50 grand, you can have the whole house. I mean, it's just a real game changer, but there's a lot of people taking advantage of it, and a lot of people with money moving into these small modular homes. I looked at one from my desert property, moving into one of these things. Maybe you remember the tent I was gonna buy for 20 grand, the whole tent, bedroom, everything, $20,000. He had solar panels and everything, 20 grand. So they couldn't produce them, but shit, I was gonna get 4 of them and rent 3 of them out.
Yes, indeed. So QJC says people need to understand when you take out student loans, it's all business. Understand what you are signing up for. Yeah, and some people have said too that student loans are and can be and have been a little bit on the predatory side. We'll get a little bit more into that. And Mike, you say, man, do something about inflation. Do something about this rent going through the roof. Do something about people being put out on the streets. Give us damn reparations. I totally agree with you on that.
You know how you fix that? You buy some stuff. Because I can tell you rents are going up. Matter of fact, I hear the hedge funds, CNBC, a lot of people on the internet, even these Airbnb hosts, these people are talking about raising the rents. That is one thing that is going to catch people off guard. And I wasn't a big, huge fan of buying a property to live in. I was more investment properties and let those pay your bills. But I'm telling a lot of people, if you can get something small, just get something that you can live in. It don't have to be this grand old giant house. If you can get a house, it's comfortable for you and your family and it's affordable, just do that. Because one thing that's happening, this wasn't happening 2 years ago, is rents are going through the roof. And hedge funds and banks are buying these properties and jacking the rents up. So reparations or not, you need to start owning some stuff. Even if you own a piece of land and put an RV on it, you can live in it. I got a friend who owns a house in Beverly Hills, beautiful home. She rents it out to pay all of her bills, and she sleeps on an RV and on her piece of land. And she got a house in Beverly Hills, but she has a piece of land. She pulls an RV and she sleeps there most of the time and collects her big money from renting out her house. So these are some of the things you guys could do to get ahead. I mean, you're going to have to now, because now the inflation, they're not getting a hold of. It's 8-9%. I don't care if you drop anything else. It's going to take light years to bring rents down, because when is the last time rent went down?
Yeah, they said in some places in the country it's starting to stabilize, go down a little bit, but not much.
Not that much.
Yeah. Sunlight, you say this won't save the Dems. However, too little, too late. However, $10,000 clears me. How soon can we get the paperwork? I haven't seen any details yet, so I'm not sure how soon they'll do it. But I am so happy for you that actually does clear you of the student loan debt. So that's huge. And Only Pamela's Way says, what is the best way to pay student loan debt off? Would doubling up on the payments maybe? Yeah, that would probably be a good way to do it. I know there's a whole lot of companies out there talking about they could try to help you pay it off faster. Some cases they say those companies are not, on the up and up, but yeah, really just maybe doubling up on it, I would imagine, right? And Kevin says, Mike Marcus Guyton rather had a plan to take the container conversion to the continent of Africa. Elon stole it from him. The idea that is check post from him in 2015. So you're talking about my Marcus Guyton, he did that too? Am I going to have to hit up Elon Musk? Really? And Molly says, common sense, you should know what you're getting into when you sign up. But when you want to go to school to make something better of yourself and you're already, why burdens and high debt? Okay. And then Only Pamela's Way says, so I'm under $10,000 in loan, so my debt will be cleared. From what it sounds like, that's what it sounds like. If that's all you owe, it sounds like your debts will be clear. So congratulations to you as well. And so Freddie B, what's going on with you? And Monique says, Dimitri, he didn't make it clear. That's the thing that is nerve-wracking in terms of this will cover those of us who want to go for vocational skill trades, and that should be discussed for 2022. Well, I don't know if it doesn't sound like it's for future debts. It sounds like it's for debts right now. So if that's something you're looking into doing, I would definitely get clarification on that. I wouldn't want to go rack up some more debt and then, it's not forgiven. So yeah, that you should get clarification on. Love JJ says, if your loan is above $40,000, this is like your friends just helping you with gas money for the road trip. Pretty much. Yeah. It's really a drop in the bucket. And there's a lot of people who owe way, way, way more than that. And Kevin, you say a bank loan is paid off upon default by taxpayers, and then the government has authorized itself to get interest on every loan they paid. Okay. And Rain, how are you doing? Stay Fly, how are you? Says this shows they can cut $10,000 checks for reparation. That is very true. I mean, and all the other money they've sent here, there, and everywhere with the, the Inflation Reduction Act that they just did. What is it, about $1.9 trillion that they just put into play? So yeah, they're finding the money somewhere, right? So I totally agree with you on that. And JB, I think JB1, I think J Black versus what it is. He says they are basically studio apartment size. So he's talking about the little boxables. And Hard Man Headquarters, how are you doing? It says boxables does not work in every location. Check with your city ordinances. That is a good point. And Marty says Mitch McConnell has not been in the background. He's already mad, saying that it shouldn't have nothing been giving while your beloved Republicans. Demetria said it would have been $50,000. Yeah, it sounds like too in the beginning Joe Biden was talking about $50,000, but that ain't what he did. And hey, Don, I don't know if you saw on Sunday where I said I did get my peace sign. Thank you so much. I have to get some batteries for it. So hopefully by Sunday, I will have the peace sign lit up. So thank you so much for that. I love and appreciate you for that. And Kevin says, and they are eco-friendly as a matter of course in the making of them. Okay, I guess I have to really check them out. J Bubba, how you doing? It says if you have a private loan, you don't benefit. It says Jim Crow Joe is just throwing out a bone because it's election year. Absolutely, and you're right. It does not apply to private loans from private institutions. So you're absolutely right about that. And I love JJ says a student loan con and hustle begins with the loan agents come into high schools and hand students a pen to sign their firstborn away. That is absolutely correct in a lot of cases. Monty says, Demetri, if you don't have a student loan already, you should definitely recommend somebody going back to school and taking up a skill that's going to take care of them in the process. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole lot of trade schools and things you could go to you don't have to go to a university to amass a whole lot of debt. But in some of these these trade schools, you can amass a lot of debt as well. So I would be careful. And Lunchies, did I say that right? Lunch Eyes, how are you doing? And Chico, hello there. And Beverly, what's going on with you? And that's actually Walter, not Donovan. And Greg, how are you doing? He says, what up, my Ramona peeps? How you doing? He says, what should the government do to rectify the high cost of college? This is just a Band-Aid. What happens in 10 years from now from new loan holders? Absolutely. And I think that's another thing people really do need to think about. I mean, hell, when we was going to college back in the day, what was, how much is it per credit? Like $3 or something like that. You could, look at paying off a loan. But nowadays, people going to school is like, now you ain't never going to pay that off. And so that's the other thing people aren't talking about. Back in the day, college was more affordable. You think about somebody like Joe Biden and even Mitch McConnell, when they was going to school, I mean, it was next to nothing for a whole 4-year degree. But nowadays, that ain't the case. I mean, I don't even know how much that has gone up. I would have ventured to say probably over quadruple what it was back in the day. So you're absolutely right. They do need to do something about the high cost of going to college. And Kevin, you say, are there any investments that one can make now that will work even during the next pandemic? Walter?
Repeat that last part. My internet's going in and out. Can you see me?
Yeah, we see you fine.
Oh, glad I'm dressed. No. Repeat that last part. I'm always dressed.
Are there any investments that one can make now that will work even during the next pandemic? And you said the next pandemic. So is there another one coming? I mean, I know the monkeypox is here, but what you know that we don't know?
First of all, there's not millions, but a bunch of investments that will work during any time. The pandemic was perfect. I love the pandemic is the best pandemics. The pandemic was the best time for people to build wealth. The pandemic helped me out a lot because I was able to take advantage of people being scared and not wanting to pull the trigger. And people like the lake house that I bought, the guy, him and his wife are going through a divorce. She had gambling debts, and the pandemic put slowed down their activity. And so they just gave the house up, which is how I was able to buy it so cheap. So same with Joshua Tree. I mean, without going into the details, we were able to buy that property cheap. So during the pandemic, when shit is bad is when you move. I hope the world collapses financially. I got enough tuna to live for 6 months, and you could buy shit cheap. When pandemics, things collapse, that's when you shop. That's when you go shopping. You don't see, the problem is people wait for things to go well. Oh, the economy's doing well. That's the wrong time to invest. You invest during the shit. What do you do when you buy a coat at Nordstrom's or at Walmart or Target? You wait for a what? You wait for a sale, right? I don't buy nothing unless it's on sale, period, right? And if it's cognac, I wait till it's on sale. But when it comes to investing, people wait for things to not be on sale and invest. Like Netflix was on the floor. Remember I told everybody invest in Netflix? I mean, I said I was doing it. I didn't necessarily tell you to do it because I can't legally do that. Amazon was at $100. It's on its way to 140. This was a couple months ago. So you invest when the shit is horrible. I hope the world collapses financially. Like Joe Biden walks on the balcony butt naked and the world just sells everything. That'll be the best time to shop. So any business that you have your heart set on that you're willing to put in work into will work. Like, for instance, in the auto business during the pandemic, people were selling their stuff cheap. So we're able to buy stuff. I mean, I don't care what it is. When things get rough, people sell cheap. But when people are scared, it's when they listen to you.
What about this question here on the screen? Can you see it?
Queen D and Walter, my bad man. I like that title. I just asked a friend of mine how can him and I go owning a gas station? Do either of us have not? I don't know anything about a gas station, but I know people right now, we're gonna need gas for some time. Right? Because even with everything that's going on with the green energy, they're getting their ass kicked. Because one, like if you live in Texas, half the time you can't even charge your car because you don't have electricity, right? I mean, California, the water in Lake Mead, because water powers a lot of the electricity. The water in Lake Mead is so low, they're finding shipwrecks and dead bodies.
Wait a minute now. Let me tell you, where's Lake Mead now? It's California?
California, Nevada,
right.
Las Vegas.
Did you hear that California is supposed to be experiencing a flood that is supposed to be the most expensive natural disaster in history? They said the last one that happened in California was in 1861, winter of 1861 through 1862, where it was completely flooded. It took months for it to dry out. It says in Northern California, I think alone it was maybe 4,000 people died. And so they say for sure that is coming to California due to the climate warming and all of that other stuff. They said it's unavoidable, but there are things that people can try to do to minimize it. And that's, lessen the emissions and stuff that we're using. And I said, well, if that's the case, y'all screwed, because I saw a notice or an article where Kim Kardashian and a couple other people were fined for using too much water. So people aren't going to cut down on their emissions. So I just wanted you to know that California is supposed to be getting the big one, and not the earthquake, but a flood.
Is that a question for me?
I'm just warning you, since you in California, that's supposed to be going on.
Well, I got property in Texas, so I'm not tripping.
Listen, I'm in Texas, okay? And I'm like, by the grace of God, it doesn't rain today. It's supposed to. But you hear what's going on with Dallas, all the flooding and stuff that's going on, where people's cars are being washed away and all of that. It's crazy.
Las Vegas had a flash flood. The casinos, the floors were flooded. Water in the casino. People swimming to get their chips, literally. So, I mean, and this is what I always say is you have to be ready. Like the world at any moment, like think about if we had a major flood, like I'm sitting here and water just is 2 feet high in my house. What am I going to do for money? What am I going to do? I'm going to run to my garage and I'm going to eat my tuna for the next 3 or 4 months. And all my kids, they're going to bring their asses over here too. Right? So, I mean, you have to be ready. So some of us are just chilling, like having a good time. Man, y'all going to be in trouble. I can promise you. Man, like you ever had your car break down and be on the side of the road? Just imagine that feeling. And some of y'all don't have AAA, which is $50 a year. Imagine breaking down on the side of the road, what that feels like. Imagine having your life break down to the point where you don't, like in Texas, you guys went through the big freeze. You couldn't get electricity, water, food, people sleeping in Buc-ee's, the gas station. You imagine going through that. Man, not everybody didn't sleep in Buc-ee's, right? The people that had their shit together wasn't hanging in Buc-ee's. They was kicking it with their generators and they had their food storage and all that other stuff, solar panels, all the stuff we talk about getting. So I don't really worry about the natural disaster as much because I'm somewhat prepared. And when we talking about, well, when I hit shit, I'll be careful. When I see the word reparations, I just go numb. Because like Black people, we're not getting reparations. It ain't happening. I mean, the student loan debt, look how long it took him to do that. Right? And the students are his future voting base. Look how long it took him to do that. He already got the Black vote. So he ain't really got to do shit for us. And the problem with Black people is I heard these 2 old Black people talking today, like some swing low Negroes, like in their 90s, like sweet chariot Negroes, like talking about I'm done voting for Trump. And then they saw me and they looked off. I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna tell. So we had a few of those, but the Democrats, they gonna always have our vote. As long as I don't know what we getting from them cats. But back to reparations, they ain't coming. They ain't coming. Joe Biden got other stuff on his mind. And can I ask you guys a question? What would y'all do with the money? Seriously. If every black person got $20,000 today, can you imagine the embarrassment, the shit we would be seeing? Like, I know y'all saw that Dave Chappelle reparations episode. It was funny because it was true. Like, what would we do with 20 grand each? Do you know I talked to some of these people about $200-300? I get phone calls. Oh, well, I got a couple $100. I'm gonna pray on. I said, no, man, you need to put that in the mattress because you can't do shit with $200. And the fact that you got to pray on it is another problem. So, like, we need to really act like the world is over. We need to act like the Klan is coming and they at the driveway, and we need to move our money and do something with it. Cadillacs everywhere. Seriously, it's embarrassing. Every time I see that Regina King, was it Regina King? What's her name? Regina King? I see that Cadillac commercial. Her ass is driving a $120,000 car. And you know how that commercial is geared to? Black people. Why in the hell would you spend $120,000 on a Cadillac that's going to be worth $40,000 in 6 years? Like, and I get the whole thing with set up trust, but you know what we need to do is set up a savings plan. Because trust and LLCs and all that shit work, but they work better with money in them. Just pull the trigger. Like this whole Joe Biden thing, the student loan thing is cool, but like, what is that really going to do for me? And if you got $150,000 in student loan, what is that going to do for you? Now, if you like our guest that has $10,000 in student loans and he erases that, hallelujah, that's a big deal. As far as mental, but if you have $10,000 in student loans, your student loan payment is what? $80, $50? Is $50 to $80 really affecting your lifestyle to where student loan debt being erased is changing your world? Yeah. What? How do you say that? Black Ricardo. I like that. Lucy. Was that? Is that how he said it? It's so ridiculous.
Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Thank you so much.
Seriously, money talks. So
let me jump in here just a little bit. So I think what we need to realize is two, and I don't know how many of y'all have actually read the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Frederick Engels. And it basically says that at the top of all of this racism, politics, and all of that is what? Capitalism. So capitalism is driving this. And so you got to think about it this way. If they forgive, all of the debt and things like that, then people are going to be free to do other things. People may not need that second and third job. Well, what happens when people don't need the second and third job? Then these corporations, because we're already, they say there's all these jobs, but there's a labor shortage where, so I saw somebody said something about the great resignation where people are not going back to work or the same job. They're finding other things to do. And so these corporations are struggling. They don't have people to work. I don't know if you've gone anywhere lately and you've had to wait in line or, the service wasn't as good, as because a lot of times they just don't have the help. And so the other thing too is the plan is to keep people in debt, because when you have a society in debt, you'll always have employees, right? So they're not going to let everybody off the hook to go be free and do whatever you want, work one job 9 to 5 and have a regular life. They need people on the treadmill to keep running and running and running, thinking that they're going to pay all this stuff off, and wham, you get hit with some other stuff. And so this, to me, it is symbolism. $10,000 obviously helps some people. $20,000 will help even more, but it's a small drop in the bucket. It really, in comparison to all of the other kickbacks people get, the wealthy, within that income driven, not the income driven, but the inflation reduction thing. They're supposed to now make billionaires pay their fair share in taxes, but they wasn't doing that before. But now, they want to give mostly the working class that has all these student loan debts a little bit of, forgiveness. But again, that's not really going to do anything. But so I think if we remember that capitalism is at the top of all of this and everything else is just a subsidiary, then we'll understand more about how this thing works, I think. So let's see here. I see a lot of people don't like you talk about we not getting reparations. And Brother Jonell, he says, the reality is Babylon has fallen and the Black economy is holding it up. America can't even afford America. And we as Black people need to awake and do for self quick. America is in God's wrath. You know what? I totally agree. And I always say that you cannot out legislate the will of God. Brother Jonell, we're seeing it going on all over the world, even really just in America, right? Look at what the floods and things are taking place that's unprecedented, if you will, in places that has never happened before. You have fire, so you have a lot of things going on, and like you said, God is in control of all of this, and so eventually there will be some reckoning. So I love it. And Jay says some of us have visions and plans on paper, as we should, right? And Love JJ says, no, he didn't say it like that. Laugh out loud. And QJC says, President LBJ said the people who control the weather controls the world. And yes, we've heard, a lot about the HARP program, if you will, that's supposed to be controlling the weather. Do they have the ability to do that? I think that they do. We also heard not too long ago that they admitted, yes, there's some UFOs. And it's like, well, we knew that already. Y'all just not coming in and admitting it. So to say that, there's no way they can be controlling the weather. Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's a way that they can be doing that. Clout, you say, if I want to buy the new 2024 Chevy Chevelle, do they have one? He says, I can. It's none of your business. Well, I don't think anybody.
Let me have that. Let me have that comment. I was waiting for you to get to that one. Listen, I don't care what you buy. You can get whatever you want. I want nice shit too. Here's the point I'm making. Black people, we have to I feel like we got to do the two-step every time we have a financial conversation. I'm not saying you can't buy a new car. What I'm saying is don't put the new car, and I was talking about $100,000 Cadillac, not a $25,000 Chevy Chevelle. And I don't even know if they make Chevy. Do they still make Chevy Chevelle? That's news to me, right? So what I'm saying is, the problem with us, and we keep talking about over and over and over and over and over, is we need to get our investments first. Have a bucket full of holes. That's what a new car is. What you do is you get your investment and have that pay for your stuff. Get the investment. So here it is, right? You walk up to the counter and there's a chicken and an egg on the counter. Which one do you pick up? You pick up the chicken or the egg? You pick up the damn chicken. But Negroes, y'all picking up the egg. And like, oh shit, it ain't laying. Eggs don't lay chickens. Chickens lay eggs. Get the chicken. I'm putting that on a shirt. Get the chicken first. I feel like Kentucky Fried. We do chicken right. No, get the chicken first. Get the damn chicken. Man, y'all got to see Undercover Brother and the General's Fried Chicken. This will make sense to y'all. The chicken will lay the eggs if you buy a piece of investment property. If you buy, I don't care, if you buy a car, or my sister's hiding over, that's what I'm whispering to. She's in the car business now. She's a business owner. Whatever. If you buy something cheaper and you can sell it, that shit she can wave. If you buy something cheap and you sell it for a higher price, that money can continue to move and move and move. But if you take your investment money and you buy something that's not going to give you a return, then you have to start over. That's what I'm talking about. So if you want that $120,000 Cadillac, get you a property that's going to pay the note on the Cadillac. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't you guys get tired of work? I'm tired as hell of working. I'm tired of it. I'm ready to cash my shit out, move to Mexico, and get me a fishing pole and one of those little fishing boats. Some days I'm like, F this. Isn't enough? Like, every time you make money and you don't put it in an investment, you are adding to the time you have to work. Some of y'all, like, you ain't seen your parents, your kids, your cousins. You can't even show up to the reunion because your ass got to work. At what point do you just say, I bought this investment, It ain't easy because some days I want to kill myself and everybody around me running the business because it bees like that. But then on the days it pays off, I go, okay, this is why I'm doing it. So, like, I got this Airbnb in Texas, and some days I want to just go in and shoot all the guests, Karen and everybody. But then
He's joking. He's hardy, hard. He's joking.
I mean, like, mentally shoot. I don't mean like shoot them, but like mentally, sometimes people say some dumb shit to you. Like, how come the fitted sheets ain't folded? I didn't realize you could fold fitted sheets. But Karen explained it to me. But I was like, so is that ruining your experience? So I go through that stuff, but then when I get the money, I go, okay, this makes sense now. So all I'm saying is get the money first. Then build something. And the motherland is cool, but I'm gonna tell you guys this, because I hear a lot of let's go to Africa, but like some of us can't afford to go across the street. I mean, like, go back to Africa is cool. I'm gonna go back to Africa too, but like, with what? Those Africans don't want us over there. They don't want us going over there with nothing. You know what I'm saying? They probably got their own version of Donald Trump over there. Like, y'all better come over here with something, right? Wouldn't that make sense? So that when I hear someone say, and I want to go back to Africa too, so, but like, let's take something over there. Wouldn't it be nice to have like, and first of all, if you have stuff going on here, I think you are less likely to want to leave because it's hard to leave something once you have something going on, right? Like, if you have a business here, it's harder to leave. I think a lot of us are frustrated because we want to go to Africa because we feel like they would treat us differently and we'd have it easier. But I really don't think that's the case. I think the Africans would be harder on us because we live in a land of opportunity and we are wasting it. Honestly. Like, America, and we built this country. We built America. The inventions, a stoplight, every time I stop at a stoplight, I think of Garrett Morgan. We started, so we don't need to leave. We are already in a country that we built. We just need to grab the money. And even if you cannot, like some people say, I can't afford to save. Hogwash, that's boss hog, hogwash. If you save money and something comes up, you can always pull it back. Does that make sense? Like, I have money accounts that I just send money to every month, every week. And I send it there. And then once in a while, I'll pull that money back. Like, I have an account with Betterment. You guys can go to Betterment. They'll let you save $20 a week, $10 a week, $5 a week. Literally, they'll pull it from your checking account, whatever you want. You want to do $1 a month? Okay, maybe not that. They'll let you do it. So I put money there, and then I pulled money out, and they go, why do you need it? Are you scared of the market? I was like, hell to the no, I need to put it somewhere. But if you stack money somewhere and you need it, it's easier to get. Even if you think you can't afford to save it, because you can always go back and get it. That's what we need to do. So then things like student loans won't be such a topic for us. Right? Because honestly, if you got $100,000 in student loans, $10,000 is just the iceberg. So your payment goes from $500 to $450. I mean, it still helps, but you understand what I'm saying. So that's kind of, I don't know. We talk about this a lot. Just buy something that will pay you. And then sooner or later, your rent will not be an issue. Right? If you have a chicken, and every day, because a chicken lays about one egg a day, if I'm correct. So if you got 3-4 chickens, you got 3 or 4 eggs a day, right? Do you realize with 5 or 6 chickens, you can feed your family? Some chicken, some kale. Chicken and kale, you got it. You can feed your family with a bush in the back and 4 chickens. Like, seriously, some of y'all going to the grocery store just wasting your money. Just get you some chickens and a kale plant. I don't eat chicken. I hate it unless it's in a chicken wing, and that's like happy hour, and it's the worst thing you could eat. But the point I'm making is this isn't that complicated. Real estate is like the chicken. Get you a piece of real estate that will pay you. You can buy a piece of land, put an RV on it, and people in California will pay $150 a night to stay in your RV. I know because I've done it.
Let me address this. And ADOS Dan, how are you doing today? He says, y'all get ready to vote Democrat down ballot. And can you explain that concept? Because I don't want to, I guess what that is. And Clout, I verbally want to say, how are you? You says, we have over 50,000 inventions. You sound like a clown. The banking cartel is global. You sound ridiculous. Go buy gold and silver. You are the problem. Well, let me just say this. While we do have differing opinions on here, let's grow up a little bit. Let's grow up and not call names. Let's use some logic and let's use our grown-up words and ideologies and logic instead of trying to insult people. We here like to have an intelligent conversation. We don't really necessarily engage in the whole name calling. It's just something that is beneath us, if you will. And so if I can impress upon you to elevate a little bit to that of being a little bit more mature in speaking and verbalizing what you need to do without the insults, I would love and appreciate you for that. And as my brother always says, I might even dance at your wedding. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. We can't hear you.
That's the problem with us is we can't say shit and not agree. Like seriously, like buy gold and silver. Like go, you can buy. I don't care if you buy Jimmy Crack corns. Do something with the money. That's the problem. We as black people, we can't even disagree on stuff. Like politics, we can't disagree on nothing. Like there's 50,000, maybe there's 51,000. But what are we doing with those inventions? We invented them, but like, how are we capitalizing? Well, we throwing them at each other as like the way of attacking each other. At the end of the day, what I'm talking about is get the money. Period. And if y'all want to be sensitive, like grow up. Come on, like some of y'all are a paycheck away from not paying your light bill, your water bill, your rent, your car payment. I'm in the car business, and half the cars I buy are repossessions. And half of them smell like weed. And sometimes I see IDs in them. They got everything in the car. Some of y'all right there. So when you got somebody dropping knowledge, just go with it. You don't have to like it. I don't like all my investment mentors. I don't like Donald Trump or Joe Biden. But once in a while, they make sense. And so I take what I can from them. But man, y'all just talking. Like, y'all got to be able to grow up. I'm trying to tell black people, man, y'all, somebody's mentioned something coming for us if you don't have land or investments, or I don't remember the whole thing. But man, black people, we are. And you know what the sad part is? As black people, we're going to have to watch a lot of our people just get terminated. I mean, like we're going to have to make the choice like, oh, kill them. They ain't ready. Other races do it. You don't think like, anyways, I ain't going to get into the deep shit because I know this is maybe not the day for that conversation, but like, man, and I've heard Muslims say, when I used to go to temple with my father, talk about getting rid of the weak. Like, seriously.
We want to be nice, though.
I wouldn't want to be nice, but damn, like, do you realize species get rid of their weak? What if we acted like that? You don't want to save, you don't want to build the race, then done with you. Maybe not physically, but mentally, we stop dealing with you. Like, seriously, this is like, we are in trouble. The black race, we are in so much trouble. Because the problem is we keep waiting on Joe Biden and them to do shit. Voting down, I don't know if what you meant voting down the ballot. Because I know some people that just say blue no matter who. They go Democrats, and that's cool.
So that's basically what it means. And so he answered, on the next presidential election, we have to vote down DD, Democrat. I think he meant down ballot. He says, in order to get reparations, Democrats can't win an election without Black Americans. Yes, that we do know that Democrats cannot do that. And so why would we continue voting for more the same of nothing? Like, what's the point in doing that? We vote the Democrats in. The Democrats have power now. They have the presidency. They have the House. They have the Senate, Congress, essentially. They have it all. And what have they done for Black people? So I'm just asking, I'm not, being facetious or mean or anything, but why would we continue to vote for the Democrats? They've literally done nothing to help Black people move the ball. They've done everything for everybody else specifically, but nothing for Black people. And so I don't know what that strategy really is supposed to do. But why would we continue to do that? If you really look at the statistics of how Black people vote, we've been doing that. We've been doing that for a very long time, voting down ballot, because traditionally Black voters overwhelmingly vote for the Democrats. So haven't we already been doing that?
Hold on one second. I need an instrument. Give me 1 second. Swing low, sweet chair. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. I have not eaten since yesterday. I'm on this fast. My God. People, vote for who you want to vote for, but just make sure that you're getting something from it. Like, I made a joke about these two, swing low Negroes, and that's when it's something I joke about, people that you see. Like, these are two people that I see all the time at one of the businesses I work, and they just would be complaining, and we need this and this. And today they were like, "F that, we need to cut Joe Biden." And I'm like, whoa, this is a whole different. And sometimes people they grow up. Now, I'm not saying the Democrats can't do the job, but they don't need to do anything for us. Do you understand? They don't need to do anything for us. And now they got the Mexican vote, they got the Asian vote, they got the student loan, they got the kids. They're smart. I give it to them because they're giving everything away. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now here are these lowly Black people, and I'm looking through the lens of Nancy Pelosi, and if you don't think she believes that, then you got something else coming. How can you be a woman of the people and shut down a business in the middle of the pandemic to get your hair done? The day before you talking about the people. They don't care about us. We need to care about us. I'm watching this in California. We have this Indian thing on the ballot about the casinos, and I don't understand it, but the Indians are basically saying we want to protect our rights. Do you know these people have billions of dollars in these casinos? Billions. Like, if you drive down the 10 freeway going east to Palm Springs from LA, you see casino after casino. You go to Santa Monica or LA Torrance and you drive past all these Indian casinos. Commerce, Morongo, Fantasy Springs. It's probably 20 from here to Palm Springs, all Indians. Do you know right now they are asking for protection? And you know why they're getting it? Because they got the fucking money. They got the money. If you don't have money, you ain't shit. I don't care if you want a Chevy Chevelle or a Cadillac, or I don't care what is. Without the money, you ain't shit. Black people, that's what. Oh, here come the ghost of Joe Biden. He like blowing my papers around. He heard me. Without money, I don't care what color you are. It don't matter what your race is. If you have money, you have an opportunity to do more. I guarantee you, I'm a Black man and I've been pulled over by the police a bunch of times. But when I show my ass up to court and I got my lawyer sitting there and they're like, I see him talking and he's like, you're free to go, Walter. Oh, they ain't got everything. Oh, they don't even have the speed thing. I paid a lawyer to tell me every time you get a ticket, postpone it 2 times. Don't say nothing when you get pulled over. Just chill. Show up to court after postponing it, continuing it 2 or 3 times. And they'll show up no recall, which means we don't recall this dude because he was cool. I paid somebody to give me that. But it was all money is the point I'm making. I went to court. I got a lawyer for a speeding ticket. And he told me what to do. Next time, Walter, you get a ticket, here's what you do. And I've been pulled over 4 or 5. Did he tell you? We was in the car rolling one time. She says, oh, you don't get a ticket. I said, don't. Did you know I did not pay that ticket? Because money talks. I watch when I've been to court so many times. I feel like the judge be like, hey, Walter, slow down. I see the people going to court with their lawyers and the lawyers chit chat and then boom, they're done. The lawyers go first. And then all the poor people, after the lawyers leave, y'all sit in court all damn day. Am I right or wrong? That's cash. That's it. So why not get the cash? That's it. I love the ability to take care of my future. And it's a bitch. Because sometimes I just want to drink. Smoke, I don't smoke weed, but sometimes I feel like I should. Because it's tough running the business and trying to stay above water. And then you got to drag all the people around you who aren't ready to go ahead. You got to bring them with you too. So what if we just focused on the money? Right? Today, some of y'all got 10 grand. Hooty hoo. But what are we going to do for the other 90,000 you owe? Do you guys, ain't nothing coming for free. Right? Now, don't get it twisted. If I had student loans, I would be running to the mailbox to get that 10 grand. I'm not hating on it. I'm just kind of mad I didn't get it. That's all it is. I'm just in my feelings because I didn't get the check. Right? But I'm also glad I don't have student loan debts. So I don't know which one would have been worse. But what I am happy about is the ability to be able to go and create wealth. The problem is we need to focus on the money. That's it. Wake up, focus on the money. Here's a business opportunity. We don't need to pray about it. We just go for it. Or we don't. That's it. Right? Go get the money. Stop praying on shit. God created the universe. Do you really think God is going, I need to hear you. Let me hear you. Oh, he ain't praying loud enough. Do you really you think some of y'all, and I say some of y'all like me, I believe that a greater power created this universe. But we believe that, but you don't think that God can feel you, hear you already? You know what God is waiting for you to do the work. That's it. Black people, we are so religious. Man, you cannot get into M&M's on Sunday at 2 p.m. on no Sunday. It is church folk. You need to take your ass to Jack in the Box. We are so religious and so behind the church. What if we started believing the stuff that we read in the Bible? What if we started believing in a God and we did the actual work? Can you imagine? That's how we get reparations. Because money is power. Because we say, okay, Joe, we're not voting for you no more. We done. Black people, we ain't gonna vote this time. And then let you and the Republicans battle it out. Or
question.
If I had 10G, what's the first thing I need to do? Question. That's what I'm talking about, my man. That's my boy Greg. We used to kick it. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's my homie. So actually, me and Greg went to school together. His sister fine. That's all I'm gonna say. Here's what I would do with 10 grand. If I was starting over, is I would build my credit. I would go to Self Inc. and I'd start sending them $150 a month over 12 months and give them $1,800. Now, what you can do is you can sign up for $150 a month, $1,800 over 12 months, and you could give them $1,000 because once they get enough money, they'll give you a credit card with a revolving line. Does that make sense? You get? And so, what I would do after that is I would start opening up secured credit cards, if that makes sense. Take that 10 grand, build your credit, and then what you can do is you can turn around and you can borrow more money. That's what I would do. I'd build my credit at all costs and then turn around and borrow the money. Then you can use that money to invest in businesses and get started. That was my answer. Next question.
And Shemesh, how you doing? It says they have the black homosexual vote as well, sealing on the Democratic Party. Yeah, the Democrats are banking on everybody, if you will, to rescue them. Al is cracking up at you. He thinks it jokes about God. And Jay says we need to switch that religious to spiritual. There's a difference, absolutely, because that's what they said we did in the motherland. We prayed to deities and our ancestors, and we were spiritual. We didn't really necessarily ascribe to that of Christianity, although some people said what we did. I don't know. And Kevin says, okay, listen, young man, white America is not at war with themselves. Clearly, Africans born in America have done Donald Trump kind of power. However, African American people are told that voting is not useful to our people, so I don't vote. Are you people not seeing that? Where to go? A unified African in America is in control of the destiny they want. American people are totally committed to the side they're on, and there is no place for Africans, Americans on either side. This is the time to unite. And disregarding a comment, as you can see, cut off. So I didn't see the rest of it. And ADO's Donnie says, scratch that if you want to vote yellow, red, etc. State and locally fine. That's where you live. But God damn it, the presidential vote, give it to green or leave it blank until we get reparations. Well, that I think we can agree on. Stop giving it to a party that is not helping us, that we are so loyal to. So I'll give you that. I do agree with that. We should look at other options, but basically we should, as Dr. Claude Anderson asked us to do, vote our interests, whatever that may be. And Ado is done. And then you also say we gotta vote family because you're basically giving away our political powers. Vote strategically. Yeah, we're gonna vote strategically, but we're not gonna continue to vote for more of nothing. That we're not gonna do. And some people are like, I'm gonna hold the vote until I get something for it. So I don't know.
This thing with politics is mind blowing. If you build your own power network, then it's easier to influence elections, you guys. And if you see what happens is I used to vote blue all the time. I was a Democrat. Did I tell you? I was Democrat, seriously. But then as I started building more money, as I start becoming in more control of my life, I started to really take more time out when I voted. And I would go, damn, you know what? That law is going to affect me financially. So I need to really look into it. So, and as I became more independent financially, my views moved to the right. I do not like Mitch McConnell. He is a horse ass him and Orrin Hatch need to do the jig off the cliff. Period. I do not like Mitch McConnell at all. Period. So let me get that out. He just happens to be on the more conservative side. And I think what I saw as being conservative, which means you did more for self. And it was more, they seemed to be more family oriented. You know what I'm saying? And I have 6 kids and 4 grandkids. And so part of me, all of me is glad that I have 6 kids and 4 grandkids. Now, sometimes you got kids, you be like, you understand what I'm saying? Kids will drive you crazy. But for the most part, I'm glad I have kids, and I'm sure they can say the same about me. But as I became more conservative, I just started to do more for self. And this is going to sound really, really shitty, but I'm going to say, me, I'm going to say it anyway. When I was sitting up, and I'm not saying I won't vote for Democrats. If they make sense, I'll still vote for one, right? Because I believe in giving them a shot. But when I was sitting up, all blue, no matter who, when I was sitting up in the church and I was waiting for the Democrats and the Lord to come back and do shit for me, I was broke as hell. I was broke, butt naked in the rain with no umbrella. And when I started to be more conservative and say, no, Walter, it's your job to take care of your family. You do the work and give God the glory. You do the work and give God his, before the crypto dollar thing, his 10%. You give, you know what I'm saying? Or you help the homeless, or you help people around you. And then as I started doing that, I started to become more conservative and I started to move more to the right. And then I'm not going to get into abortion and all that shit because I don't know enough about it. But I started to care more about my kids and my family. And that stuff started to mean more to me as I started to do more for self. And as you do more for self, you're less likely to piss it off. One of my boys called me, was like, hey man, can I borrow? I was like, hell to the no. I know what it took me to make that $1,000 yesterday. Hell no, you're not getting it. Get your behind up and you go get it. You understand what I'm saying? So do for self. And then plus people respect you more. Like Kanye West, Some of y'all hate him. Think about this. What's the chance of you getting your black ass in the White House? Obama, Biden, Trump, McConnell, Pelosi, whoever's up in there at the time. Can you imagine getting like Kanye West is in the Oval Office. Him and his wife has the president's ear. Can you imagine that kind of power? Like Mr. President, leader of the free world, the most powerful man in the world as far as politics goes. I mean, that's on a ballot. Him and his wife have the president's ear. That is all money and power. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the woman. That was Al Pacino. In this country, first you get the money. So why not just get the money first? I don't care what you say about Kanye. He got the money first. And the problem with us is when we get our leaders that get this cash, we hate on them. I don't care about Jay-Z or what you say about Jay-Z or Kanye or any of these people. At the end of the day, they have power. Oprah Winfrey, Robert Smith, all these black powerful leaders that we have, they got the money. Like Oprah Winfrey, if you think about Oprah, what makes her so powerful?
I would say that she has a lot of influence. She has the ear of a lot of people. At least she used to, anyway.
True.
She's a kingmaker, king and queen maker.
She has influence, power, and Oprah Winfrey, her story is incredible. Most of you guys would never deal with the shit she went through. Oprah Winfrey just went all out. She put it all on the table, and then she goes, "I'm gonna give the rest to God." But she did all she could do. Then she gave the rest to God. Some of y'all are giving the shit all to God, and you trying to do the rest. It's not how it works. You do the work, and it's hard work, and then you give the rest to God. That's what I love about Oprah, regardless of what you think about. I don't always agree with stuff she says, and I really don't like what she did with the whole Michael Jackson thing, going after everybody. Like, it just seems like if you're a black powerful man, Oprah is coming for you. I don't like that part about her, but I do like the work she put in to get to where she is. And that's just all hard work. And I think we as black people, we can learn from people like that, right? I don't hear Oprah Winfrey or a lot of our black leaders talk about God did everything. They give God the glory after they've done the work. So
I remember back in the day, it's funny. So hold on a second. Drop my mic.
We'll pick it up.
I just did. Sorry about that if that hurt your ears. I remember back in the day, Oprah said something about Jesus. She didn't necessarily say she didn't believe in Jesus, but I think she was saying basically what you said. It wasn't all Jesus, it was me too. And the black Christian community, and I guess some white ones too, they heads almost exploded. Oh my God. Listen what she said about Jesus. But if you really think about what she said and what you just said, I mean, it's like you said earlier, I'm going to do the work and give God the glory. So I'm not going to, rob myself of all the credit, because it's going to take me actually doing, the work to achieve what I need to do. So I totally agree with you that, especially, in regards to religion, we do tend to give it all away. And I don't want to say give it all to God, like surrender to God type of thing, but we give it all away and don't leave anything for ourselves, especially in regards to money.
Yeah. And stop with this shit about all holy is going to do everything for us. Do you realize black people, we are the most religious as far as what I can see, and we are in the worst position. If we would just take some of that time and do for stuff like, I shouldn't say this. Nah, actually, I ain't going to say it. But there's certain churches I would go to. I used to go to Harvest Christian Center here in Riverside. We've been to Harvest. Have you been to Harvest? Remember Greg Lowry? Man, church started 10 over 11:06, and best believe 11:07 you be in the cafe. I like that because I know, really, let's be honest, you guys. Do you need 8 hours of religious preaching? Do you need 4 hours of the word? Some of y'all can walk into church and be like, Jesus loves you. Jesus wants you to get to work. Jesus says, don't cheat on your wife. We can hear that shit in 15 minutes and we can get to work. Hearing all this Lord, King of Kings, and all this other stuff for 45 hours, that is not really doing nothing for us. God already can hear us. He can hear. I mean, like he's like Santa Claus. He knows what you're up to. So why not just go after it? We need to stop. And I don't want to sound anti-religious, but I'm saying this: we got to get to a point where we believe in ourselves. Like my father says, God, we are created in God's image. I'm God. My father talked to him this morning. My father is he is continual. I don't care what goes on in his mind. He will always lead back to God. We are God. Period. That's it. So if we are God, like, how often do you pray to yourself? Think about it.
Do y'all remember when Snoop Dogg got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? And he says, I want to thank me. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but I want to thank me for waking me up. I want to thank me for getting me to this point. And I also want to thank me. And I was like, man, somewhere, you know, a whole lot of people are losing their minds. Oh my God, how can he rob God of the glory? But I was like, you know what? That by far is probably one of my favorite speeches, because it's like, I'm not going to rob me of the credit. I got me here. Yeah, God help me and all of that, but I got me here, putting in all the hard work from beginning to where I am now. So he says, y'all should check that out if you haven't already. I want to thank me, is what he said.
100%. And that's kind of where I was going. But since Snoop opened the door, I'm gonna jump on it. Every morning when I wake up, I open my eyes and I'm going, oh wow, today's nice. It's another day. I'm happy for that. God did that. God created the universe, and stuff works in unison. But I think that's where God checks out. He says, I created free will. Can you imagine coming back as a donkey? Hold up. Stay with me. This will make sense in a second. Like, actually, my girlfriend gave this to me. I don't know what her reasoning was, but like, she is into this Eddie Murphy thing and calling me the donkey, like whatever. It's a joke. But I have this donkey. Can you see the donkey? Is that Eddie Murphy? She gave me this donkey as a joke because she always calls me donkey from Stretch or whatever because of my voice. But I keep this donkey on my kitchen counter to remind me that I need to be in control of my future. Don't be a jackass. Get up, get to work, and you move. Say hi to donkey. Oh man, I apologize. I haven't eaten since yesterday, but we can be in control of our future, and it's just one thing at a time. God created the universe. The rest is up to us. Like, you could have been a roach or a fly. Your ass is dead. You know what I'm saying? That could have been you just now. But we came as human beings. We could think we have power. Isn't there peace of mind in being able to control your own destiny? He was high, but he was right. I give it to you. I mean, Snoop Dogg, I've met Snoop Dogg a couple times. The dude is actually very bright. Like, Snoop Dogg is not just sitting around getting it. The dude is brilliant. Like, don't get it twisted. The dude, him and Martha, he's got ventures with Martha. Snoop's got his stuff together. But we need to, and I think that's, I'm going to say it anyway. I think that's our problem as Black people, is we are so quick to give the glory to somebody else. God created the universe. The rest is up to us. Because you could have been a fly or a donkey or a roach. But you came back as a human. And a lot of us we're not using our gifts. We have the ability to do so much. Black people, if we ever came together and just focused on the main thing, whites, Mexicans, Jews, they would, in my opinion, they would bow down, because they would say, finally, you guys get it. Do you understand that, like, from us comes most of the races? Like, period. You understand? Like, so my girlfriend's Filipino. I'm just going to say, you can hate me now. Sorry, but I'm an equal opportunity dater. I love Black women too. My girlfriend watching? She acted fool. I'm giving me a sister. I promise you. But in the meantime, I'm going to stay where I'm at. But in their culture, like if you know Filipinos, they're a little bit shorter, right? Most of my friends, for whatever reason, are Filipino. They have the pygmies and those little black pygmies from Australia, and the Spanish came over and started kicking it with the pygmies. Now you got Negros, Orientals, and that's what they call in the Philippines. A big part of the Philippines is Negros. Do you realize the only reason you have Filipinos is because from black people? You understand that? And you can go to China, and you can go all over the world. You can go to South America, and you see our complexion. Even Italians, they have our demeanor. They talk like us. So what if we got to the point where we were like, we are God, we are the original people. Everybody comes from us. How would you behave? You can answer that.
I actually want to share this so y'all can see it for people. That's what I was doing. Actually, I was finding the video and all of that. So I wasn't not paying attention. So I want to show this to y'all really quick.
I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for always being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right than wrong. I want to thank me for just being me at all times. Snoop Dogg, you a bad.
Yes, indeed. So as y'all heard it, I'm sure most of y'all have seen it, but yeah, you can't rob yourself for the credit. You got to thank yourself, give yourself a pat on the back because, regardless of what God has done, and God has done a lot, we don't want to rob God of the credit. And Snoop had to get up every morning on days he didn't want to do that. He had to go out there and get the money and, make sure that his family is straight. And I even saw that Snoop has a children's cartoon. I saw him, he put it on his Instagram page earlier today. He has a children's cartoon. I'm like, there is nothing Snoop has not done. In fact, Snoop is one of my favorite movies that I just saw this weekend on Netflix called Day Shift. It is such a good movie with him and Jamie Foxx. It is so good. I promise y'all, if y'all watch it, as y'all could tell, I'm a Snoop Dogg fan. But yes, that is one of my favorite speeches because he's like, I'm going to thank me at the end of the day. And so Damien says, I give the glory to my mom. Rest in power. Yes, indeed. Yeah, without your mama, you wouldn't be here. Without our mama, we wouldn't be here. So absolutely, we do have to give credit where credit is due. Yes, Sunlight, it's funny, but shoot, Snoop was dead serious. I want to thank me. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I mean, regardless of what it is, we have to put in the work. And I just, give me an example of myself. I get up, I don't say every day at 4:30, 5 o'clock, but most of the days when I know I have stuff to do, I get up because I want to be done with all of my work by like 11 o'clock so I can, maybe go work out and just kind of do other stuff, build some other things that I'm doing. But I don't always like to get up early. But I know that if I don't, then I'm going to be set that much further behind. And, it's easier for me to do that and just get it done. Also, I don't have it in here with me, but I bought myself a day planner. Y'all remember those day planners back in the day we used to have? You write everything down. Every morning when I get up, I sit on the edge of my bed after I make it, and I write down everything that I need to do for the day. And when I complete something, I mark it off. And that way I feel accomplished, and I actually feel like I'm doing something instead of running in circles. But that thing is to really help me to achieve my goals and just really have some sense of accomplishment because, I'm one of those people, I'll just have things up in the air and like, oh, I'm going to get this done, and I forget things. And so I've been writing it down, and I've been doing really well and, getting up and doing the hard work. But, eventually it'll pay off if you just keep going, right? And Jay, you say, I don't know about that Hollywood star, though. What do you mean about that Hollywood star? What, about the star on the ground? Or a Snoop or what? I mean, Hollywood star is basically just to acknowledge people. And actually the stars they don't even really come from like somebody like the Oscars or whatever to say, oh, well, we think this person should get it. It actually comes from their fans. So their fans have to write in. It's kind of like a petition type of thing. And when they get so many people to write in and say, hey, we want our favorite celebrity or whatever to have a star, like Nipsey just got one about 2 weeks ago. The fans write in and say they want that, and that's how they actually end up getting the star. So it's a fan based push, if you will, for that. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, that was a good look. I mean, Snoop was 100% right. 100%. I agree with everything he said. I want to thank me for waking up and doing the work, not taking the day off. Even when Snoop's on vacation, he is working. And I've like I said, I've met Snoop a couple times, and I know he is grinding it out. And it ain't got nothing to do with God at this point, because God created the universe and gave us talent. And what we do with it is up to us. Because otherwise, if God was really that involved in your everyday, how do some of us suck and some of us do well? How do some of us struggle with small shit and some of us do well? Like, you tell me God is choosing to have you do well and have you suck? Hey, come on, you guys. Some of y'all need to grow up with this mystery shit. Like, it is 100% us. I used to tell people, you are better as a heathen to get rich in this country than as a Christian. Because heathens just get up and get to work. Christians, for whatever, we sit up and go, oh my God, we need to wait for the Lord. That's hogwash. Just get up and get moving. Snoop is a successful dude that Black people can look up to. Seriously. He's building an empire. But we want to hate on the dude because he's keeping it real that he woke his Black ass up. He got up. And if he didn't wake up on his own, what happened? And if it was God, what happened to the dude that didn't wake up the next day? My neighbor that died of a heart attack. So God chose me over him. That God's up there doing that? No. That dude eats chicken and pork rinds every day. And so it got to his blood vessels where I don't. Period. God gave us both the choice to do that.
I agree with that. I mean, again, I don't want to remove God from everything, but I do agree with you that it is about choice. And I think, unfortunately, because I always ask this question in regards to white people and Black people in regards to religion. What God are they praying to? Now, I know that they done pencil whipped us as far as the Constitution and stuff like that. But I'm saying, if we're thinking about something like religion, what God are white people praying to? If we're being taught that, God is the same everywhere, why are they getting results and we are not? And I was saying, no shade to us as Black people. I think sometimes, as Walter said, religion does cripple us because my grandma used to always say this, my mom's mom, well, I'm going to let go and let God. And that used to always irk me, like, what does that mean? I'm going to just let go and let God. I'm like, well, what are you going to do in the meantime? You're just going to be free falling? Like, what's going to go on here? So, I think it has a lot to do with action, right? So a lot of times we do sit in the church and we just think that, mystery God is going to come out of the sky and say, well, you kind of suffered long enough. You waited for me to do something for you, and now I'm going to do it. Now he's like, I've given you everything you need to go do it yourself. So I don't know. And Nikki, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I love and appreciate you for that.
We like new members. We like all members.
Absolutely.
Because this is what makes the show work. I mean, we do this for you guys. I mean, period. What would be really cool, and I'm looking for this, I dream of the day where we could get together and we could meet, some of us can meet, and we could just sit at a table and go, okay, you know what? What are we buying today? What are we moving? What are we getting done? You ever been to a restaurant and you see these people sitting around in suits or whatever, suits and no suits, talking money? Isn't that the cool? Can you just sitting at the table, 20 of us just making moves? You know what? That community, that building over in 5th Ward, we should buy that. We should get that.
Read the last of Brother Jonel's comment there.
Set yourself on fire and see who put it out. You will be. Oh, see, I don't even touch that. See, because I don't.
You basically said, while you praying to God to do something, it's like you set yourself on fire and see who's gonna come put you out. it's probably going to be you or somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that we can even believe in God and like put those thoughts together that there is a higher universe is amazing. What if we took that same energy and we remove the excuse not to do shit by waiting for the Lord to come and do what we can do for self? I tell you, it's hard as hell doing for self sometimes. Cause sometimes you go through up and down, like man. Sometimes I just want to wake up for breakfast and have a big piece of chicken, just chicken and dipping in gravy and and a beer, ludicrous style. But I ain't gonna live long and do that, so I don't. You understand what I'm saying? Like, man, after we hang up, I'm eating kale and I think I got salmon or something in there. It's horrible, but I don't want to be stroked out, staring at the wall, hoping my kids wipe my ass. So I choose the kale and the ginger and the garlic and the turmeric and the things that Dr. Sebi and Dr. Berg and these people say do. I choose to work out 3 or 4 times. I hate working out. Behind me, I don't know if you can see it. I got this oh man, and I'm using it again. See this thing that's lit. That's a rowing machine. My whole half my living room, I got dumbbells and all like a stealth, all kinds. Matter of fact, if I move, you can see my weight bench right there. I hate doing that shit. But you know what I hate worse? I would hate worse is to have one of my kids have to come over and take care of me because my ass didn't want to work out twice a week. I don't like working out, but I'll do it. It's only 30 minutes, 100 reps. You pick up some 10-pound dumbbells and run 2 miles or walk 2 miles, jump in the sauna or stand out in the sun with a sweater on. Shit, whatever you got to do to burn that sweat. And then you eat like you got some goddamn sense. That's it. I don't like doing it, but I do it because I want to live a little bit longer. Actually, I want to live a lot longer, and I want to be healthy doing it. Same thing comes to with your money. You have to treat money like what you put in your investments and bank accounts. You have to treat like your body. Well, I got this money. What am I going out to buy this new Cadillac? And you guys, I love Regina King. She's cool. She was the coolest chick in Jerry Maguire. She is like the best. I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying she was in that commercial. Right. I love Regina King. So here, we can squash all that shit. But like Regina King is rich. And Cadillac gave her one of those. I promise you, she got one from Cadillac. Nelly, if you watch his Flap the Wings, Get Your Eagle On, they gave him all those cars. Because I'm talking to him like, dude, we should sell all these. Like, no, man, I'm going to give them away. I was like, dude, we can sell all these cars. He looked at me like I was nuts. But the point is, they gave him all those cars. If you're not getting the car, what up, Corliss? If you're not getting the car for free, you need to be working for it. And here's what I mean. Buy something that will produce an income stream. That's it. Do that. You guys, we all should have a nice car. We all should be pull up, leather's cool, air conditioners blowing, everything. You should be in a nice car. I agree, but we should do it the right way. Right? My neighbor says, where's your Range Rover? I said, it's rented out. He's like, you don't mind other people driving your Range Rover? I said, I don't mind them paying to drive it. That's the difference. Can I afford to drive a Range Rover? Probably not. And when I say not, I don't mean I don't make enough money to drive a Range Rover. I don't have enough money saved to have my black ass in a Range Rover. Period. I don't. Regardless of how many hundreds of thousands I'm worth, whatever, I am not financially in a position to have a Range Rover sitting in my driveway at $2,000 a month car payment. And I'm not in that position. And most of us ain't. So I bought one used and I rented it out. My car payment with Capital One is $700 a month. That Range Rover is being rented out almost every weekend at $200 a night. So I rent it out. I give Capital One their share. In my household, we keep the rest. That's it. So I drive my Range Rover during the week. And on the weekends, I drive something else. And once in a blue moon, the Range Rover is not rented, I drive it on the weekends. or my girlfriend to cancel it and we want to drive it on the weekends. But that's the only reason I have a Range Rover, is because it's paying for itself. So we should all have nice stuff. Just make sure it's paying for itself. You guys, we should all live in a beautiful home. But wouldn't it make sense to buy a home that's paying you? Like, I'm going to be in Houston in a couple weeks. My girlfriend's dragging my ass to Spain. I don't really want to go, but like, I like being in a relationship, and she put it on her credit card, so I'm going. But like, when we get back, there's this blue house on Gray Street that I keep talking about. Like, D, you in, right? You already agreed you're going to help me buy it? I got my girl, Edna. She's not my girl, but she's my home girl. She's from Barrio. She's my Spanish homie. Like, her and my mom used to, like, kick it. They're like, you remember Edna, right? My friend Edna, she's down, like, 4 flat tires. Like, we going in on it, and we're going to get this blue house. It's a shack. It's a shit show. But I'm so excited about taking this shitty house and turn it into a beautiful property. It's only $400,000. Fix it up, put $100,000 into it, turn around, rent it out, and put it up for 1.4. That wakes me up. And we could all do that. That's the type of stuff we should be doing. And then I'm going to let the Lord bless it. After, because the Lord ain't going to bless no shit you don't have. I promise you, he only bless stuff you have. Some of y'all been praying for a financial miracle. The problem is you don't have no finances. How you going to bless something you ain't got? I'm praying for a miracle. It would be a miracle if God put money in your checking account. You let me know when that happens. I'm going to come to your house and pray with you. In the meantime, I'm going to work for my own money. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. And listen, I don't want to, offend anybody or make it seem like we're saying God is nothing and, he's not responsible or she, depending on, what system you believe in. I believe that there is a higher power. Shemesh, I think you were asking about, who put the blood in, in your body and all of that. Well, I believe that God has done that. But I think what we're saying more than anything is stop relying on something outside of yourself to get things done. And Brother Janelle said it perfectly. If you want on fire, who you gonna pray that somebody puts you out? And my dad always says prayer ain't worth a damn at a bear meeting. You sitting up around a whole bunch of bears about to eat your ass. You're gonna say, Father God, please, or you're gonna pick up a gun or whatever you need to do to save yourself, right? And so that's a mindset we need to be in all the time, is that we're at this meeting of the bears, we're on the menu, and we need to figure out a way to save ourselves. Now, in the meantime, I'm gonna pray to God too, but I remember I was commandeered, if you will, by a pit bull one day when I was going walking, and I haven't really went out and like walked the neighborhood since. This is like 2 years ago. I was on my phone with my dad, early in the morning walking. Next thing I know, a pit bull came up behind me, and it was, I could not move. This pit bull had me hostage for like 10 minutes. I'm on the phone with my dad. He's like, pick up a stick. I said, Daddy, there's nothing around me. I don't know what to do. And he was like, you don't see a rock? You don't see anything? I said, I don't see nothing. So I'm bawling, I'm crying, because I'm like, this dog is finna drag me all over the place and kill me, right? And then, now this might have been God. So, I'm not going to take it away. A lady comes walking up behind me. The dog sees her, and the dog runs to her, and I booked it across the park. And I told y'all a story before. I went and got my daughter, and we went and helped the lady. But I thought, damn, it sure would have been nice if I did have some mace or a stick or something, but in that case, I guess I can concede the point that maybe God did send that ram in the bush, and that lady was the ram in the bush, to help me get free, because I firmly believe that dog was going to do something to me. So that was pretty scary.
I have a dog story too, and a Jesus story, matter of fact. We used to live on Olympia, and we used to walk past Mitchell Funchez's house to get to Sierra Middle School. I was walking down the street, and this dog jumped out at me, woof, woof, and I said, stop, in the name of Jesus. And he stopped. And his owner looked at me crazy, and the dog stopped. And I was busting, and the owner looked at me so crazy. And I was on a religious thing then. I was like praying for people in the bathroom. You remember that day? I was saving people praying for him at lunch, man. I was a Jesus freak.
You're the reason why our family ended up, converting over to Christianity.
That is true. I took the all day as to church, so don't get it twisted. But as I prayed, as I yelled at this dog, it just froze, and I was like, okay, that's Jesus. And so part of me believes that it was God, and part of me believes that this dog was like, this dude has some conviction. Like, he straight told me to stop, and I stopped. So my point I'm making is you can do the work and have conviction, right? Have you ever met somebody with conviction and you can't change their mind and they're just so convicted they're going to do it no matter what? That's what we need to have, right? So and whoever made the comment about the blood, we talked about that. God created us, made us human. That was the whole thing about not being the fly and being dead right now, is God gave us all this stuff. You guys, in order for your body to work, if you just study the human body and the pancreas and all the things it takes your body to work, you will be so grateful that one thing in your body, like the pancreas, which is only one of hundreds, millions of zillions of cells in your bodies that need to work, says, I'm done for today. No more insulin for you, big booty. It's a wrap. Or if your heart says, I'm tired, you eating chicken and grits and biscuits all damn day and pork rinds, and you making me pump, I'm done. It's a wrap. You're done. Your brain says, nope. You know what I'm saying? My girlfriend's family struggles with vertigo, so she don't drive. She don't have it, but it runs in the family a little bit, and we figured out it's food related. But like, what if you're driving one day and you just lose control? Like, the human body is such an amazing thing, but the way we treat it is really shitty. So God did all that. So if God can do all that for us, can we do the rest? Can we get up out of bed? It ain't nothing but one sit-up, a roll, that's just exercise. A roll and a sit-up. Or if you're in a relationship, hey baby, how you doing? All right, cool. That's 3 movements, maybe 4 or 5. Wishful thinking. But like, if you can do that on your own, I'm not saying I'm a minute man. It was just a joke. Let's just leave it at that.
Hey, bro, we were just listening. We just listening.
If you could do that shit, like what? I mean, like, the fact that you got up out of bed is huge, because tomorrow morning there are a lot of human beings that are not getting out of bed. Think about this, all seriously, all jokes aside. There's some people that have been married for decades that will wake up in the morning, roll over, and their spouse will not wake up with them. Can you imagine that? Like, for those of you that have been married and married a long time, one day you or your spouse is going to roll over and the other person is never waking up again. Just imagine how precious life is. What if we took that emotion and we used it to build on it, to make us better? You guys, I'm telling you, Black people, I'm just talking to Black people right now, right? Or, I know there's some people that aren't here that aren't Black. We love everybody, right? And because everybody is from us, look at my hands. My hands are still white, right? So they turning. Are they going to ever turn Black? Maybe not. I think that's a sign to say everybody is from you. So you need to appreciate all races. But what if we started acting like kings and queens, right? Like, Black people, like, we have so much power. Like, I was listening to Eminem, and on his track, Please Stand Up, or I think it was that one, and he was comparing himself to Elvis Presley in a joke. I stole Black music and made myself wealthy. Or you know the track, or the lyric he's talking about. Like, something about being like Elvis and using Black music to make himself wealthy. The point I'm making is there's so much we have to give. What if we just own it and do something with it? And that starts with being in control of your future. Like, Ford laid off 3,000, not people, admin staff. Ford, Tesla, Netflix, Coinbase, Robinhood. You guys, it is about to get scary. So some of y'all gonna need to move in with each other. Hallelujah for that. Good luck living with. Can you imagine 10 of you and your family members living in one house? It's gonna come to that. That's what it is. So you got Google, hurry up, get to it, because I don't know what that is either. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't understand it completely. So imagine that. That's what it's going to come to, you guys, because rents are going to keep going up and up and up. And I was watching this movie, and it's kind of jacked up, but it's true. And the Federal Reserve chairman goes, one of them goes, why don't we just start burning houses down to fix the housing problem? That's when they had too many. But like, what if it got to the point where we couldn't afford housing? You guys know rent in California right now, the average rent for a decent house is $3,500. That means you need to make 10 grand a month and come up with $7,000. That's just first and last. What are some of you guys going to do that are renting and you got to move and your rent, you got to come up with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand? Not to own, but just to rent. Wouldn't it make more sense to walk to a dilapidated neighborhood and find the owner and say, hey, I like your building. I mean, I don't like it. It's a shitty show, but I'm going to like it one day and I'm interested in buying it. And why don't you loan me, like carry the paper. I'll give you a down payment and you finance the rest of it. And I'll pay on this and I will fix it up. And then we'll sign an agreement that when it's ready, we can split the profits. Boom. Just like that. Right? Some of you guys know people that are losing their homes to foreclosure. You can say, hey, man, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get it together and we can own this together. Some of us just get emotionally wrapped up. I had a really good friend of mine. Do you remember my friend Mary? Like she was like one of my best friends. Mary was she'd be sitting here, just beautiful woman, like beautiful. My girlfriend, hey, Mary, she ain't tripping. Like she was that cool with my family. That my girl would walk in and see her sitting here and be like, hey, she would just ignore me and talk to her. I remember me and her trying to save her house and she was just praying. And I was like, Mary, let's sell this motherfucker or let's do something. And I remember her being so attached to this house emotionally. With investment properties, the emotion isn't there. You aren't tied to it emotionally. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You just let it go. That's why I'm saying, you get? That's why I'm saying, get something you can invest in, a piece of property, an old car you can flip. I don't care what it is. Some of you kids, there's Dbop, Shopify. My assistant, the one that keeps walking back and forth, is sewing and selling clothes online. I be owner. You better do something. She's selling clothes online. The point I'm making is you guys, you could do it. We just have to get to work. And you guys, you need a mentor. I'm going to kind of wrap with this. Is you need a mentor. Somebody that's going to stick their foot in your ass. And you got to let it sit there for a minute until you get the point. Don't be trying to pull it out. Some of y'all just need somebody to say, yo, you ain't doing enough. Get your ass to work. Or find something else to do. I tell you, my sister, she won't mind me telling you. She lives here too. It's crazy. But I remember when I met her, I was like, oh, she got to go. Oh, this ain't going to work. And so we kept going. I didn't give up on her. I kept going. I was like, you got to find a way to make money. I don't care what you got to do. Just don't bring it here. And she's grinding it out. She's selling clothes online and doing shit. And she walked in the other day and handed me the stack. I'm like, whoa. That's what I'm talking. I've been carrying it all day just to see if it was real.
Can I hold something?
No, you can't hold nothing. I'm putting this stack to work. The point I'm making is I wrote the shit out of her and she finally decided to listen. Before it was, oh my God, we're depressed, our generation, you parents suck. I was like, okay, so we suck. And so what? What are you going to do about it? When you are moving, and this is for you guys with kids that claim they have depression. Some of them do. I'm not going to knock it. But I know a lot of kids are saying, oh, we're depressed. We have anxiety. Do you know how hard it is to be depressed and running at the same time? Like if you're running for your life, how much time do you have to be depressed?
Not much.
You don't have enough time. If you wake up and you have a business that depends on you to get up and get after it, and you don't have time for depression or anxiety. Because like, have you ever played sports? And I'm gonna come to that. Have you ever played sports? That butterfly feeling you have right before you walk onto the arena or the court or whatever. When does that go away? The second you start playing.
I used to get that every time I check my bank account.
I hear it. Oh, shit. Sometimes I get it too. Butterflies be flying at the ATM. Hey, Negro.
He like, boom, shaka, laka, laka.
But like, depression, anxiety goes away when you get to work. That's it. Like, sometimes I'm like, I'm not working. I'm not lifting weights today. But I grab the weights and I start pumping them. And I'm like, damn, brother, I know you look good pumping these weights. I see my girl over there staring. She act like she ain't. But I know when I'm sweating and I'm pushing that weight, I know her attitude changes. But I don't want to pick up the weights. But once I pick them up, I'm committed. I'm like the pork. I'm like the pig in the bacon and egg sandwich. I'm committed. It's a wrap, Jack. So with and you guys, all you have to do is take one step. Starting a business mentally sucks. I'm just gonna keep it real, because sometimes I'm like, this morning I was just thinking, man, this is tough as hell. What if I have these dumb thoughts. What if I just came back in another life and I tried it over? I have these dumb thoughts sometimes. I know we all do. But I was like, no, I'm gonna keep going. In California, it's 105 degrees today. And I was out in the sun working my business. And I sat inside of a car, turned on AC, and I just took 5 minutes and I had to regroup. And so I went back after it. Some of us just need to do that. You understand? So I don't understand the part about being incarcerated and all that stuff.
I was just talking about that was the cuspid. What was it? Whatever it was, that number that I put up.
Okay, let me deal with this one. Secure credit, you guys. Am I saying the right name? Autos Dan or
ADOS Dan.
Okay, that is exactly right. When you spend money, try not to use a debit card or cash. I try and put everything on a credit card. So here's what I did with a lot of my celebrity clients, and I've done this with people all the time, and I do it with all people all the time. Let's say I got paid, right? My paycheck is $2,000. I take that $2,000 and I give it to my bank, and then I tell my bank, give me a credit card, and I'm gonna use that $2,000. I'm gonna pay my bills, and I'm gonna build my credit, and then you get paid again. And you pick that money to the bank, you open another secure credit card, and you borrow the money from that credit card and you pay your bills. Now you're going to have debt, but this is money you owe to you. So at any time you walked into the bank and you felt like canceling this credit card, you could, and they would wipe the slate clean because it's your money on deposit. So you do that. And now you're building your credit. And then I talked about self. Credit One will give money, a credit line to almost anybody. First Premier is a horrible credit card, but if you ain't got nothing, that's better than something. Something's better than nothing, right? You can have people put you on their credit cards, right? I'm on my sister's credit cards, right? Please make the payment on time. I have my son.
I only use it once a year to keep it from closing. That's it.
You know what I'm saying? My son, my girlfriend. I asked everybody when I rebuilt my credit to put me on their credit. And that's what I did. And I have people that I put them on my credit cards. So I'm paying it forward. So if you got a relative, somebody with good credit, you can say, hey, put me on your credit. They'll send them the credit card so you don't get it, but you inherit their credit history. So doing that, doing the secure credit cards, right? Some of these furniture stores will give you credit. Don't buy furniture, please, from them, because the markup on furniture, you might as well get a Cadillac. But use those to build your credit, right? And then, I tell people, get you an account at a credit union, right? Yeah, pass some of those. Send me some photos. right? My sister got all that credit. She could buy a house with her credit, which is what I'm trying to get her to do. Build your credit. My boy Craig was like, what do I do with 10 grand? Use it to build your credit. Then you can go out and borrow 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. You could go to Navy Federal, one of these credit unions. And I love Navy Federal. They're the best bank ever. If you can get an account with them, man, you say I'm buying this car, you give them the VIN number, they don't ask you for a pink slip, paycheck stub, nada. They will loan you the money if you have decent credit. Or you have an account with them. I got a credit card with them that I use and pay off on a regular basis. And so Navy Federal, in the last 12 months, they've given me 3 car loans and not asked me for a damn one piece of paper. The Audi I bought for 9 grand, they're like, oh, Mr. Coulter's worth $1,630 or something like that. We'll give you $20,005. They said, how much you want? I said, is that a real question? I said, I want $20,005. Right? The crazy part is they still don't have the pink slip to my Audi. I have not given it to them. They have not asked me for one piece of paper. That 20 grand is flipping in the wind. My girlfriend's in the Audi right now on her way home from work. The point I'm making is I built my credit first, thanks to my friends and my family, my sister and a few people, and then me doing some of the work. Now I can borrow money and I can put it to work. That's what you do. So get you a credit card and build your credit. If I was going to give my young self advice, Mr. Walter, and my Asian voice, Mr. Walter, please build your credit. Period. Build your credit. Protect it at all costs. And don't date girl number 4. That's what I would have told myself. Build my credit. Don't go into debt like buying silly stuff. That car payment that you took out in 1987, you and your boy Regis, he's trying to stop me, but you know how it is. Don't do it. Keep your Camaro that your Aunt Susan May sold to you for next to nothing. You drive that. Those hoes ain't nothing. They don't like the Camaro. Like they don't deserve a Sentra. Keep the Camaro and you keep driving that. Keep your radio in the back with the D batteries. You just change out those batteries once every 2 weeks. You keep rolling that, and that money you paid on the Nissan, you keep stacking that money. And you get you a Nissan dealership one day, and then you collect those checks. That's what I would tell myself if I could go back to 1987, 1988. You see what I'm saying? Those of you guys that have kids, you need to whoop their ass mentally. I'm taking my kids on a mountain retreat. The cell phone service sucks, and I'm doing it on purpose. And I got all 6 of them and their spouses and their grandkids, and I'm taking my girl, and I'm taking their ass for 2 days of just ass whooping mentally on our future. Like our kids, D, I know you know what I'm talking about. Our kids are our future. Y'all need to cut this shit out. Oh, I don't know what to do. Get to work. Your parents gave you a net. All 6 of my kids have a safety net. If one of my kids right now was like, oh, Dad, I don't know what to do. I lost my job and my side hustle. I need to stay with you for a couple of days. I would be held to the gnaw, but I would do it. I would do it. And they know this. Sound like Chris Tucker. You know this. They know that I would break my neck to do whatever I could to help them get going. You know what I'm saying? It's a 2011 Audi S5. I bought it for 9. You could have it for 16 because that's where it's at and offer up for 16. But our kids know they have a safety net. You got to let your kids off. And I'll get to this question in a second. You got to stop letting your kids off the hook. I got into it, me and my daughter. She's like, Dad, I'm not going to school today. I'm like, well, how come your ass ain't over here helping me? Oh, I'm sick. I'm like, okay, we'll deal with this in the mountains. But like, we need to be harder on our kids. Thank God my father is probably watching. Man, my father used to wake my ass up at 5 a.m. and pray to the east. Allah, we used to pray. And he used to make me take a bath. And we used to work. And I remember I used to drink orange sodas, orange crush or grape crush, and the tamale. That's what I used to have for lunch. And I go back to those days and I go, my God, the shit I learned from that, like getting up and seeing my father go to work, seeing him deal with customers and dealing with drama, all that shit, I inherited those qualities. And my mom and dealing with people in her business and sales and marketing and just creativity. But my parents were not easy on me. And they were easier on my sisters because they were younger. We need to go back and do that for our kids. You guys, your kids don't have a choice. It's your way or the highway. And what are they going to do? Leave? They can't afford it. Oh, I'm going to move out. Good luck with first and last. Anyways, get an auto loan, buy a used car. That way you can get liability insurance. No, I insure all my shit fully. And let me tell you why. So I was in Texas. I flew out there. I bought this BMW convertible silver with red seats. It was wicked. I was going to sell it. Before I can get it to my house, I got T-boned. And then so they was like, do you want to get the ambulance? I was like, yes, I need the money. So I look back and the car was totaled. I paid $5,500 for it. My insurance company gave me 10 grand. The point I'm making is if I would have only had liability, actually, no, it was there. They paid me. But what if it was my fault? The insurance company doubled my money. So if you can buy a used car at a good discount and insure it, and it gets wrecked or stolen, whatever, and they can't find it, Mexico, they'll cut you a check for more. So make sure that you insure everything. It just makes sense, you guys. It doesn't make sense to drive a car that doesn't, unless you're driving an old bucket or, two Datsun B210, then you might want to reevaluate your business ideas. Right, unless it's a classic. But the used car is one of the best side hustles. Like my sister, you see her walking in and out. She handed me this money and was like, I want to buy a car. I want to buy a used car. So she keep walking down here. What time we going to the auto auction so I can look for me a car? I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know what happened mentally. She got it, whatever. But like, the used car business, you can buy a car for $2,000 and sell it for $3,000. That's $1,000. If you do that once a month, $1,000, you guys would save some of your relationships. Some of you guys are gonna fight with your husband and wife over. Me and my girl used to fight about money all the time. But now I'm just like, okay, here, I got it. Don't worry about it. We ain't gonna fight over it. I was gonna say something real mean. I'm gonna say it anyway, because that's just who I am sometimes. My girlfriend could be mad as hell. I could walk into bed and boom, I could make it rain. She won't be as mad. The point I'm making, you guys, money moves the planet. So
Absolutely.
start with something like that. That's it. And if you
Right.
want, hit me up. I'll help you with it for a small fee.
Yeah, yeah, CG. I got rid of the spammers, the scammers, or whatever it is. So anyway, you guys, we're gonna get out here. We love and appreciate y'all for being here on this Wealth Wednesdays. Hopefully that you learned something you can use in your life or whenever you decide to do that. We'll be back here, and I say we, me, and Donovan on Sunday with our regular Demetra K show. And Pamela, I will look up that program. I actually remember hearing a little bit about it, but I don't know the details. So I would love to know more about it. As basically prisoners use as stock. That's what that is. So I'm as a commodity, I guess, right? So I will look into that. No, thank you, CG, and everybody else on here. We will check you guys out later. Of course, we have a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Become a member and at least like the video. And I love and appreciate y'all. See y'all later. Peace.